What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with the review for The Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 7, Episode 16, y'all. The Naked Truth is the title of the episode. So before we just jump into it, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then do me a solid favor and please stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. So you guys can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning your post notifications on, and sharing the video. And with that out of the way, you guys, without further ado, let's discuss The Real Housewives of Potomac, shall we? All right, you guys, so this episode was pretty much a filler episode. It really could have been kept because it didn't give me anything. So we are just going to go down the line of no particular order. I guess we'll start up with Candace, right? So everybody is back from, Mexico. So we see Candace. The thing that I was thrown off by with Candace's house, she got cardboard cutouts of she, her mama, and her sister. And over hers, it was one of those little bubbles like in like the cartoons in the comic books when they had a little bubbles above them. I think hers said, "I came from Jesus." So Candace and Chris sat outside, right? So they went over what happened in Mexico. She was telling him about the old ladies were fighting. I was like, not the old ladies, Candace. But, the older ladies were fighting. She told him about Karen and Charisse. She told him about Robin and Karen. And he was like, did y'all have fun at all? She was like, yeah, we went out the last night. So y'all only had fun one night? Okay, that doesn't sound like much of a trip. And even Chris was like, that doesn't sound like much of a trip. So Candace is going to be planning a party, right? It's going to be next week with the finale. So she's going to be releasing, the video for her song Insecure featuring Trina. And she's also going to be, revealing the album cover for her Deep Space Reloaded? The re-release version of Deep Space. You know what? It kind of gives like how Nicki Minaj did she do that with Roman Reloaded? No, or was it I think it was Roman, right? She did Roman Reloaded. So get your coins however you get them, right? I don't have an issue with it. I'm here for Candace. I support Candace. You guys know I like Candace, but I'm also fair with calling Candace out. But her music, she's doing good with her music and with her acting, and I wish Candace nothing but so much positivity and so much success, right? But let's pause here and move forward. Next up, you guys, let's just talk about Wendy in this episode. So we had one scene with Wendy. I was like, wow. Y'all know how I feel about Dr. Wendy. Y'all know I love me some Dr. Wendy. That is my girl. Gorgeous. I am in love with that red outfit that she got on in that confessional, her interview with the black hair. She just looks so good. Looks so damn good. But we see her, she was doing her political commentating. She was on MSNBC. I feel like she was on Joyanne's show, Joyanne Reed, or she might not have been, but she was talking about Roe versus Wade. And we've already discussed that numerous times. So they filmed this during the summer. But that's really all we got for Wendy in a solo scene. Because she and Karen were not focused on in this episode because they were, uninvited to the group event in this episode. But let's pause here and move on to Karen. All right, you guys, so next up is Karen. So we see Karen. So Karen and Wendy, they were sitting down, right? And so you guys know how they do the two scenes where one person is talking to somebody about what happened in a trip or an altercation. Well, that was what was happening with Candace and with Karen and Wendy. So they were talking about the situation that happened back in Mexico, right? And more specifically, they're talking about the Robin and Juan situation. Like I said last week, you guys, I'm not saying that Karen is lying about Juan, hugging her. And I'm not saying that she's lying about the other woman because if you guys don't know, last week after the episode aired, I think it was on TikTok, where there was a woman who reached out to a TikToker and had text messages from Juan. So allegedly it's true. I don't know or not, right? because allegedly I'm gonna stay out of it because I don't really delve into it, and I want to make a point to mention something because I saw a comment last week, and let's talk about Karen. Like Karen is a beautiful woman. I've never said Karen is unattractive. Karen is a gorgeous woman. She looks damn good to be almost 60 years old. Karen looks phenomenal. So I'm not taking that away from Karen. Never gonna take that away from Karen. Karen looks good. The only thing I will say about Karen, and it's more so specifically about her reunion look, I just don't think she should have done the bun. I don't think she should have done the bun because the bun on her, the updo kind of made her, just, it aged her a little bit, but she looks great. I will say, so let's just, since I don't have a lot for this episode, I want to briefly talk about the reunion looks. I don't know if I'm going to put them on the screen or not. In the editing, we'll decide if I want to put them on the screen. So I want to talk about the reunion looks overall. I love the color scheme of blue because blue is one of my favorite colors. Blue and orange are my two favorite colors. So I love the color scheme of blue. So if I have to go down the line of who I think the best dressed women are, number one for me is going to be Wendy Osefo because she killed it. Loved her look. I love that dress and her body. I think that's what solidified it for me with Wendy. It was that body. Although the dress looks like up here look like you got peacocks. So it looked like a lot of things mixed into one, but overall she looks damn good, right? So next up, who I think looks great is Ashley, right? I think Ashley looks amazing. The only issue that I have with Ashley is the bang. Because, girl, we see all of the forehead. But other than that, Ashley looks great as well. Then third is going to be, for me, Candace. So I will say with Candace's look, so the picture that they have of Candace's look, I hated it because it looked ugly. I was like, girl, what are all these feathers? But then they had this video of all the women, walking in motion with their dress. I was like, okay, when you see Candace's dress in motion, I'm like, it looks better because it was just from a certain angle and I just didn't like the angle that I was looking at. And I wonder how her dress is gonna look sitting down. So she looked great, right? So then we're number 3. So number 4 is gonna be Karen, right? Because I like Karen's dress. The only thing about Karen's dress that I did not like was the sleeve. I just don't like the sleeve on Karen's dress. I don't like the sleeve on her dress, and I just don't like the updo hair. But other than that, she looks great, right? So we're at 4th. Oh, now this is where it gets a little tricky because after Karen, it's just downhill. So if I have to go for 5th place, it would be Robin. I don't like her look. It looks like never mind. I don't like Robin's look. It just looks bland as hell, right? And then if we're going to go 6th, that would be Jacqueline. Wasn't the biggest fan of Jacqueline's dress. I was like, what is this? So Jacqueline's dress is a no, but she's 6th place. Then 7th place, Mia's dress. Because I didn't understand Mia's dress at all. Because it just looked like it was ill-fitted to me. So Mia it's whatever place I just said, 6th, 7th, right? Yeah. Child, the last 2, they're neither one of them look good. Giselle's unfinished dress. And I saw somebody say, people just don't like Giselle. So if it was Karen, they would say it was a good looking dress. No, it was a terrible dress all the way around. I think what threw Giselle's dress off, the thing that threw Giselle's dress off was, ow, Jesus, that hurt. I must have slept on my arm wrong. The thing that threw Giselle's dress off was the little rhinestones or diamonds that went around her breast. I think if she had done a few less of those diamonds or Orion stones or whatever they are, I think if Giselle had done a few less of those, her dress would have been perfect. It would have been better, right? But it was just, the dress was just way too busy, in my personal opinion. And then Charisse's dress. Oh, God, Charisse. Charisse looked stuffed in her dress. I just don't know what that was that Charisse had on. She looked stuffed. And Charisse is not a bad looking woman. That's why I call her Bob the Builder, because she looks so boxy. No shade to Charisse, she just looks boxy, right? But back to the show. So Karen and Wendy were sitting down, they were talking about the trip. And, like I said, Karen was talking about the situation, about her talking about Robin and Juan. And Wendy brought up, you brought that up at your hair event in season 5. So Karen is like, she's been protecting him. I'm like, really, Karen? I mean, do I believe Karen when she says that he hugged her? It's possible. It's a possibility. If you guys, and like I said in last week's review, if you guys listen to what she said in this week's episode, that happened 3 years ago. That wasn't, so the producer showed something that happened a month ago. The reunion that Karen is talking about was the season 4 reunion when they wore the white. That was not recently. That was 3 years ago. So could Karen be telling the truth? Possibly. I don't know. Right? But we'll see, right? So Ashley calls Wendy and Karen to basically spill the tea and be messy that Robin is having a bachelor party and they were both left out of the text message chain. Why did you feel the need to do that? Just to be messy, right? So then we see Karen. So instead of Karen going to the, bachelor party, she went and got a forward candle. That's really all we had for Karen. Let's pause here and move forward, guys. So next up, we have Mia, right? So Mia had Giselle over to her home, and in typical Giselle fashion, she always wants to come with the mess. Like, that's why I've, when people say, oh, y'all should, Giselle said she felt uncomfortable with Chris. Giselle said she felt uncomfortable. That's fine and dandy, right? But we know how Giselle is. We know that Giselle will put 20 on 10 and add a little extra stank to stuff, right? And that's what she did in this particular scene with Mia. So she was telling Mia that she went with Robin because Robin looked for wedding dresses, right? And then she tells her that Ashley brought up something that happened last night in Mexico between Wendy and Mia. And so Mia says that she saw Wendy's vagina, and Mia says Wendy saw hers, she touched hers. Do I believe anything that come out of Mia's mouth? Absolutely not. Now Mia said they didn't hook up with each other. That I do believe, right? But I think she added 20 on 10. She's like, because Gordon didn't okay it and neither did Eddie. You didn't have to add that. You could have just straight up said, no, we did not have sex with each other. Would I like to have sex with her? Yes. I think that's what it's been this whole time, is sexual tension. I think it's been a whole lot of pent up sexual tension on Mia's behalf, not Wendy's. But let's pause here and wrap up the episode. If I missed anything with Mia, you guys can definitely leave it in the comments. All right, you guys, so let's wrap up with boy Robin. So I guess congratulations are in order to Robin and Juan. It came out last week that these two are in fact married. So congratulations. Didn't see it happening, but I guess it did. So we see them as they went wedding dress shopping. I was like, sir, get a tux. Get a tuxedo and call it a damn day. So then Big Mouth Ashley, this is when Ashley was telling Giselle about what happened the last night in Mexico, right? I don't know why she felt the need to even go back and spill the tea to Giselle, of all people, who puts 20 on 10 and makes things bigger than what they are, right? So, mind you, if you listen to what Ashley said that Mia told Wendy that, she liked her vagina and how attractive she was. Now, nowhere did Ashley say that they had sex. You were trying to ask that question, but Ashley said they left together. She doesn't know what happened. So you just gonna tell people that those two women had sex with each other and they're both married women. Okay, girl. miserable person, right? So Ashley left. Robin came out. I guess Giselle couldn't just wait to tell her that tea, right? But we didn't see it. We saw it in the flashback. So Robin's mom still doesn't know that she's getting married. Okay, girl. So they want to have a bachelor party, but Robin doesn't want to invite Wendy nor Karen, right? She's mad at Wendy because Wendy laughed at Karen when they were in Mexico. I was like, girl, you are super duper petty, but your bachelor party looked boring as hell, so I would be fine, right? So we see all the ladies as they're getting ready for, Boy Robin's bachelor party. So Mia and Ashley had on the same exact outfit. Bob the Builder, I don't know what she had on. Like, everything makes her look boxy. So they're talking about what happened. Giselle has to bring it up again. I'm like, for you not to have, and it's making me wonder, do you want to munch on Wendy's box as well? Because it's giving the same thing that Mia gives, right? Because you keep bringing it up at every turn. So Mia says that, all four of them, they kissed, and Candace and Ash were like, we get kissed with you? And girl, no. Do I believe it? No, because Mia says she stopped, and I'm like, girl, no, you didn't. So they get to the strip club, you guys. Can we be honest about that strip club? Number one, and no shade to my Caucasian people, but I didn't see not one black person. I think there was one black girl in that club. Now, see me, I'm somebody that I've been to the strip club, love the strip club. Strip clubs are fun, right? Love me a strip club. Love me a good strip club. But I was with Candace at one point, like, where the big booty, where the big booty strippers at? Like, when I go to the strip club, I want my stripper to either have some titties or some ass. Like, I want to hear bands that make her dance. And I want you to be, clapping them cheeks in my face, clapping them cheeks in my face, or I want to be engulfed in titties. Like, I want to either see you. I want your titties just flopping up and down, or your ass just jiggling. I need to see some jiggle. I need to see some jiggle and some wiggle with my stripper. No shade to the Caucasian women, right? But it would be like, it's like looking at somebody with a washboard and just washing their clothes. Because that one stripper, when they zoomed in on her, and her thong was in her butt, and I was like, oh my God, she is pancake flat, just like flapjacks, just flippity flapping, and I was just like, oh no. Again, no shade to my Caucasian people. I love you guys, but as far as me coming to a white strip club establishment, it would never happen. It would never happen. As I stated, I gotta see some ass and some titties. Now, I ain't saying that you gotta go get a BBL, but go to the gym, you can do some squats to get your booty lifted. I just need to see some, some cakes, some nice firm cakes, or some nice. Now, with the breasts, I don't care if you go get breast implants. That's fine, as long as they look real and they don't just sit there and don't move. Like, I'm giving my information out, but I be looking at porn, PORN sometime, and when I be seeing the women who go get breast implants, and they just sit, the titties just sit. I'm like, girl, those things are they settled? Because I'm like, they don't move. They just sit like two discs on your chest. But yeah, the strip club look a little bland. No shade to the strippers. I hope they tipped y'all well. I really hope they tipped y'all well, because never mind. So they also have steak and lobster on the menu, right? Let's talk about the food real quick, because I'm a foodie. I don't know what the hell it was that was on the steak. Was that steak sauce? What kind of sauce was that? Was that a Salisbury steak? It looked like a Salisbury steak, because I was like, what is that on the steak? And they were just chewing at it. I was like, that food just gives me unseasoned. And then when them wings came out, those wings look dry as hell. I don't know if those were I don't even think that those were dry rub wings. They could have been, but I don't think they were, Because I think I could have swore I saw some sauce on them and they were just dry looking. Never mind. Boy, Robin, baby, she was in heaven with all them titties and ass in her face. So they asked Ashley about Michael Darby. So Ashley saying they've been very nice and pleasant with each other lately. And, you know, in this particular moment, she's kind of unsure. Like, girl, stop playing with us, right? So she says she's no longer dating because Michael said that he wasn't dating, right? Now, I do know she was dating some guy named Luke. I don't know what show. I don't know if he's from Winter House. He's from one of those shows with house in it, either Winter House or Summer House. I don't know who Luke is. I wouldn't be able, if you put Luke in a lineup, I don't know that man. I wouldn't know that man if you pointed him out to me. I'm like, oh, okay. So yeah, I know she was dating some guy named Luke. I know that she and Luke they're not seeing each other anymore. But I know she met his family. I was like, girl, you met his family? So y'all were getting serious, right? But she stopped seeing him because of Michael. Candace told her that Michael came to Chris's job with the woman, and she realized she was so hurt by that, right? Oh, Jesus. Sharice. Now, I'm going to give Sharice one little bitty point, right? Because she said that Karen lies. That is true. Karen does lie. And I wish Karen would stop with the lying. That's my only grievance when it comes to Karen, is that Karen has a way with the truth, right? But Sharice, you seem very bothered. You said that you didn't care about why Karen don't F with you, right? But now you're talking about she lies about why she doesn't want to be around you. Why do you care? Sharice is fishing for a way to come back for next season. Bravo, don't give it to her. Let this be Sharice's. But the crazy thing about Sharice is Sharice has been in the background for years. Even after her leaving Potomac, Sharice has always been in the background. So Sharice is not going anywhere. So unfortunately, I know she's not, because Sharice is always in the background. She's always in the background. Zanging in the background. Like, she's always in the background. So then she talks about Karen being a drunk, a prostitute. Somebody called her a prostitute. I think it was Mia. So Karen is a drunk. She says she's been out to the club with that bitch Karen Huger. And she says Karen gets drunk and will fuck any dick that comes her way. I don't have an issue with it. Let's be 100% honest with you guys. I don't have an issue with who Karen sleeps with, right? Because what Ray is in his 70s or 80s, I don't think that dick is getting hard anymore. So if Karen wants to go out there and get her some young dick, get you some young dick, Karen. And say, these hoes, right? Like, girl, get you some young dick. It is what it is, you guys. But that's really all I got for this episode. Let me know what you guys thought about it down in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications, and share the video, you guys. And until the next time, stay safe, take care of yourselves, wash your hands, wear a mask. Well, wash your hands, be blessed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.